Hi, welcome to 45 Minute Wait Conversations in the Queue. I'm one of your hosts, Andy Zilmerman.
I'm the other one of your hosts, Al. I've been waiting 45 minutes for you to get online.
That is not true. But we have about 45 minutes to talk about whatever it is that we would talk about if we were waiting in line for a Disney ride, which is about 45 minutes. I mean, if you don't have your lightning lane anymore and
That's
things.
about what I usually spend on Mickey's Runaway Railway.
Yeah, it is. That is the hardest attraction to say. I'm sorry, it always sounds wrong.
A great queue.
Oh, it is the best. And I the one at Disneyland, the one at Disney World is okay, but the one at Disneyland is fantastic. So if you are a Disney World person and you've only been on the one that's the old Grauman's Theater, you got to go to Disneyland and do the queue at Mickey's Runaway Railway. It is the best. It's a good place.
Jerry.
It's a good place to spend 45 minutes of. That's a good one because there's always little things to see and you always catch something new every time. So so how you been? We are on our once a month podcast for a while now instead of twice a month. Just being busy like everybody else and the state of the world.
I mean, here's the thing, like the once a month actually right now especially kind of works a little bit better because I work at a higher education institution in the United States and things are very, very, very busy. We have a notable speaker coming to campus. I won't get into who and how, but week after next, that's going to be taking a lot of my notable controversial group. It's going to be taking a lot of my time in the next couple of weeks. As we head to Thanksgiving. We're recording this in early November after the Dodgers won. Okay, this is a new thing for me because I've never been into sports before.
I know, it's so weird. It's so cool. So weird.
It's really cool. I'm 56 years old and I've never been into sports, and all of a sudden I decided to get into it.
Wait, and are you still doing fantasy football with Ed?
No, he didn't get it all together in time. That would have been very strange.
I thought you were doing that. By the way, Ed is my husband, if you don't know. So you would think I'd know that information, but I really don't know that information.
You guys should really talk to each other.
I'm not about football, man. I gotta draw the line.
Pick some random people and hope for the best. Me and my brother were talking about it because he was watching the World Series with me. We're recording it the morning after the Dodgers won the World Series. And both of us were like, yeah, baseball's kind of interesting. Can't get into football. Football's just not my thing.
Well, and Ed's the opposite. Ed can't watch baseball unless we're at the game and he's got a beer and a hot dog.
I don't know. You guys might be getting a baseball team. That's what I'm hearing.
Is that true?
The MLB is talking about expanding, and Portland is very, very, very invested in getting.
Haven't they been talking about that like since I've moved here, like forever ago?
But they've got like a plot of land by the river all picked out, and it would be. I gotta say,
I know where you're talking about.
Portland, it would be a very nice place to see a baseball game.
Portland needs some pro teams, that's for damn sure. They got the Trailblazers, and something big just happened with that coach. And I don't do basketball at all, so there's no way. I mean, and I only do football by marriage, so it's not even like I'm really into sports. I do enjoy going to baseball games sometimes, and just for the atmosphere.
I think my entry into sports, and I wouldn't say I'm into sports, I'd say I'm slightly into baseball, is because of the nerdiness of it. Like, it's all stats and possibilities, and there's a lot of math involved. So
I don't need that in my life. I'm good.
Are you?
Yeah, I don't need it.
Are you though?
I don't need it. Disney is my thing, man. That's about it. That's all I got time for.
You should have more things. I got Disney. I got comics. I got a dog.
Dog?
You do have a dog.
I got a dog.
Your dog's name is Thor with 2 R's.
Yes.
It's a family thing.
It's a family thing. But Al has some exciting news. It was like more exciting. It's still exciting, but it was like more exciting.
I mean, it'll be exciting when I close, but I am at 56 years old, about to be a first-time home buyer. I am currently in escrow, and my hand shook when I wrote that very, very big check to put a deposit down on my new, hopefully soon to be occupied townhouse in the Bay Area, where if you are on the 3rd level in the bedroom that will be mine, and you turn your head to the left and get on your tippy toes and squint with one eye, you might be able to see San Francisco Harbor and the Golden Gate Bridge.
That
No
is pretty cool.
promises. No
That is
promises.
pretty cool.
But I'm very super excited about it. I've wanted to buy my own place since I was in my 20s, and I currently live in a 2-bedroom apartment in the Bay for a lot of money, and I figured why not spend a whole lot more money and get a 3-bedroom townhouse. But
Yeah, it is true.
this is one of the things that is driving our conversation today. I have a lot of what my esteemed co-host Andy refers to as plastic crap.
True. It's true. But you guys also don't know. Yes, he has the plastic crap when we talk about the Disney paraphernalia that he collects. But you don't know, or maybe you do know, he's got like a whole storage unit of comic books, and he's
I
had like
have
storage units ever
thousands of
since I
comic books.
basically known him.
I've had my comics in storage for years.
We visited you when you were living in Merced in
When the girls were little, yeah,
2007,
and I showed them the.
and you were renting a house at that time, a 3-bedroom house, I
Mhm.
believe, and
Yeah,
one of your bedrooms was completely filled with comic books,
yeah,
right? Isn't that
yeah.
true? And then
True.
after that, you had a storage unit and everything. So now you'll be able to like put those, right? You're going to get rid of your storage unit. Is
Yeah,
that correct?
that's part of the calculation of how I can afford. Like I recently got a raise, plus the cost of the storage unit has gone a long ways towards the difference between my current rent and my mortgage payment. Not the whole thing, not the whole thing, but a really a pretty good sized chunk of that would is going to cover my increased payment. But did I ever tell you this story about this is one of my standard relationship stories? This is a digression, but I think it's worth it, and it's actually relevant to the conversation, right? So as Andy says, I have a lot of comic books. So when I had this house, I had a 3-bedroom house, and my whole goal, this was the first time I was able to have a room just for comics and collectibles, right? And so I was living with my girlfriend at the time, Tiffany. I don't know if she listens, but hi, Tiffany. Um, and I had gone to get my stuff and moved it in. We were just moving into the place, and I put all these just random boxes of comics and collectibles in the room I was going to set it up in. And I said to Tiffany, I said, "Hey, can you do me a favor? Give me a couple of days to get that room organized. It's kind of overwhelming right now before you go in there," which I thought was a reasonable thing. And Tiffany said, "Well, why is it you don't want me to go in there?" And I said, "Well, it's not a problem going in there. It's just it can be overwhelming. There's a lot of stuff in there, and just give me a couple of days to get it together." And she said, "Well, I don't really understand. Like, why is it so important you don't go in there?" And you ever get into a point, listeners, and I know Andy has, from the other side of it, where you're about to get into an argument, and you're like, "I don't know why I'm about to get into an argument over something that doesn't really matter that much." And so my brain just said, "Don't get into it." And so I just said, "Look, fine, go in there. It's not. I just was hoping that I could have a couple of days, but I'm not hiding anything. Feel free to go in." So she goes in and she comes out with this look on her face. And I was like, "What?" And she was like, "It's just, there's a lot of comics." And I was like, "Yes. And you can't say anything about it because I told you not to go in there or else you'd be overwhelmed. And now you're sitting there and you're overwhelmed, right?" And I'm
Was
a
that
comic.
the demise of your relationship right there?
No, the demise of my relationship was due to her going to Peace Corps.
Yeah.
You
After
know,
she found those comics, she's like, I
after
got to
she
get
yeah, she
away
was like,
out of
"Let me
here.
sign up, let me go to another country, another continent to get away from this nerdy guy." But she was overwhelmed because I had a lot of
Yeah.
stuff, and
Yeah. Oh,
it's sort of relevant to our topic today, which is as I'm moving into this new place, right? I have a lot of stuff, and not only comics, but a lot of Disney stuff, collectibles, ton of statues, right? And right now in my current apartment, they're kind of everywhere, right? Because I own all this stuff. And my sister, when she was staying with me, was like, "Well, just put it up. Why do you own this stuff if you don't have it?" And so I started putting it out, and it was fine. But I never, like my collectibles, I never really wanted in the living room. I always wanted to have like a special dedicated space for it because I felt like it's just almost too on the nose to have it all out over the place. And so while I love all the stuff I have, even I find it a bit overwhelming. And so, go ahead.
why do you feel the need to have it all in one place? I mean, to me, One of the things I love, and I don't have near as much as you because that's not my thing, but one of the things I do love about the things that I have is that I do want to spread them
Mhm.
everywhere and mix them in with my other stuff. For example, I love bears. I just love bears. And our downstairs bathroom is bear themed. Now it's the bear, like bear pictures from Alaska, bear pictures in nature, but I also like stick my country bear stuff in there or my totem poles from Wilderness Lodge. Like,
Because you have a
why?
theme in that room in that area, right?
Well, that's just an example. I don't have a theme
Sure.
in every room, but
Right. Well, and here's my thing. I think it's part of the collectible mentality, which is if it's everywhere, it's a little bit less for me easy to appreciate like how like some of my pieces are really I think really cool. And what I'm seeking is more of a museum gallery kind of feel where you go in and I get to actually swap in and out exhibits.
oh my
And
God. One of us has had kids and the other one hasn't. Can you guess? We're
okay,
watching
judgy.
museum
Okay,
quality.
judgy.
I'm just saying anyone with kids
Wow.
would never come out and say, I need my house to be of museum
I
quality.
mean, I think we should just share. I don't like to share this publicly, but since you put me on the spot, I can't bear children. Thank you. Thank you. I didn't want to share that with the world, but apparently
You already did
you're
when
going to
you said
put
you
me on the
wanted to
spot.
have a museum type quality to your collectibles.
Okay,
Who
judgy.
says
Okay,
that?
better than everybody else. As
No,
I'm
not
looking
better
at
than
your
everybody else.
Oswald the Lucky Rabbit frame print behind you.
Yeah, on a command hook. It's not like put like in some glass thing or something. It's also not that expensive. I don't think I have anything Disney wise as expensive as what you have. That's for damn
Yeah,
sure.
because you're better than me, apparently.
No,
I mean, that's the
I
sense
just
I'm
think it's
getting.
funny.
It's the sense I'm getting.
Well, I mean, that's a sense you get all the time because it's true, but it's not because of museum quality Disney collectibles. It's just a fact.
But my point being, and this
Yes.
goes back to the example from Andy, is I do have these collectibles. I like the collectibles. I want them presented in sort of their best light. And I'm curious from your perspective, because you just talked about sort of how you sort of place things in your house. I have visited people who have collections, sometimes Disney, sometimes other stuff. Like my collection is a big chunk of Disney and it's a big chunk of DC comic stuff. And I have a lot of like I collect a lot of things, Funko Pops. And I've been to people's houses where like their collection is so overwhelming and so large that it's not like that it's overwhelming. And I can't really take it in and appreciate it because it's just like to your work using your words it looks like a bunch of plastic crap as opposed to hey here's a carefully curated sort of thing of sort of presentation of the things I love and I'm interested in. So that's sort of the distinction that I make, but I'm curious from someone who has a much larger house than I do, who doesn't have as much collectible sort of crap, which I don't say, but like how do you approach like do you find have you had the experience of being in somebody's house and like their collection is overwhelming, or do you just think oh it's
Mhm.
cool whatever they want to do? Like what is your take on
No, I think no, it actually does like make me a little bit well, I'm claustrophobic anyway.
it?
And
Right.
so when I see all that stuff and it's everywhere, I do get a little claustrophobic. It brings up for me, and I know for the person that collects it, it brings joy, right? It's supposed to bring joy for the person that collects it, and that's great. Just because it doesn't bring me joy
Right.
doesn't mean that they shouldn't do it. I've seen how you present the collectibles that you have out, and it's all very nice. And again, I'd say this in jest, but it's true. I mean, if you ever did have toddlers around your house, you could never have your house looking
God no.
as you've had
Yeah.
your house. Um,
No, remember my little brother Daniel broke my lovely
I
Pinocchio.
do. I
It
do.
broke
I
my heart,
do.
and I'm still
I do
gonna
remember
get him
that.
for it. Yeah, yeah,
I think it's bothering you more than it's bothering him. I
yeah.
can tell you
Daniel.
that right now.
Yeah.
um so I don't know, there are people that just collect a lot, and
Hmm.
they're
And for
on
me, there's a distinction.
TV and
It's almost like I listen to a great podcast, Judge John Hodgman, and one of the points he makes is there's a fine distinction between collecting and hoarding,
what
right?
is that distinction?
And
What
the
is it?
distinction that he says is how you present it. right?
Okay.
If
Okay.
you are thoughtful about its presentation, you're not seeking to just like, here's all my stuff, right?
Yeah.
But you are sort of saying, hey, here is a curated sort of arrangement of some of the things that I enjoy, so if you ever come to visit, right?
Yeah.
Which is unlikely. I've lived in the Bay Area for 15 years. You've never come. But
I know.
if you ever come to visit, right? And you walk into sort of the Disney space, that, and let's say you didn't already see most of this crap, you weren't like standing next to me when I bought it, that you'd be able to go, oh, that's cool. Where'd you get that? There's a story attached to things, as opposed
Love that.
to a room that's just like, wow, there's 57 different pieces of Disney memorabilia in here. I can't take in any of it, as opposed to like 10 very like carefully curated nice pieces.
That's what I like. I like
Yeah.
that. And I love stories behind things. That is important to me too. Um, I'm a librarian and a language arts teacher. So yes, stories are important to me. More than just stuff. This is kind of going on a digression, and it's not Disney whatsoever, but Ed and I just finished watching on Netflix the documentary of Pee-wee as himself
Right.
about
Yeah.
Paul
Love
Rubens.
Pee-wee. Love Pee-wee.
But it was talking about like his collections,
Mm-hmm.
and he collected a lot, and that also was in storage, but for the documentary it was like brought all out, and it was too much to me. It was almost like a little bit of the hoarding. um Again, it wasn't to bring me joy, it's to bring him joy, but then all of the stuff, I get why your comics are in the
Mm-hmm.
storage. That part I get,
Right.
because
And let's be clear,
you're not
I'm really
what
working through how to thin that out. It's just way too much.
I know,
But go
I
on.
know, I know. Comics I don't really count in this, but like
Mm-hmm.
to have all these like things and toys, and Paul Rubens collected some other things that maybe you don't want on display, but
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I don't have that. That's not part of it.
yeah. But I'm just saying, like all of it to be in a storage unit,
Well, but that's just it, right?
I just don't
That's the
see it.
other side of the equation, right? So if I do this curated sort of space that is just sort of a story of, sort of present it well, that means like
Yeah.
let's say 75% of the stuff I have at any given moment is in the garage, right? Now for me, I'm okay with that because every 2 or 3 months I go and swap some stuff out, and like every time,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Like it's an ongoing sort of
Yeah.
rotating exhibition, for lack of a better term.
And it's mostly for you though, right? Like Ed
Absolutely.
has pop vinyls. Ed collects pop vinyls, and he has themes to his pop vinyls. Like he's got 80s theme, he's got Fast Times at Ridgemont High theme, he's got Breakfast Club theme, and he will in his office switch them out every so often.
Mm-hmm.
And that's for his joy, and that's for his, and to me, I'm like, I don't know. That's too much work.
Well, because it's
I
not
just
your right.
I
Like
know. I know.
you are not a collector. Like it's just
No.
there's some weird gene. I don't know where it comes from. I have it. It is like half of my genetic makeup of collector. And I've talked about this on the podcast before. I am the person, and this happened when we were in college. Somebody gave me a goof one day. Here's a Pez dispenser. And 3 weeks later, I had like 20 Pez dispensers because that's who I am. It's just, and to the point where I have to be really careful. Like Funko Pops is like geared for somebody like me because
Yeah.
it's like they're cheap, they're everywhere, but they have enough unique things where it's just like, I saw a Funko Pop of Michael Corleone from The Godfather, and I'm like, oh, I gotta have that. And then in a different store, I saw Fredo. I was like, well, I already have Michael. I gotta have Fredo. And then I was like, well, I'm missing Sonny. I gotta get all the brothers.
You
Right?
are the one that they're after. Whereas I love Funko Pops, but I want something that means something to me. Like I have a Hans Gruber from Die Hard, because I think Alan Rickman, first of all, is fantastic, but Hans Gruber in my mind is the greatest villain that ever
Sure.
lived. Like, and so that one character,
Mm-hmm.
even though don't get mad, haters, but I don't like the movie Die Hard. I mean, I watch it. I know, because you know why? I'll tell you why I don't like it. And it's not because of Hans Gruber. He was the best. He was great. Bruce Willis, come on. You go through all this stuff, and it's like at the end of the movie, let's just get in the limo and go celebrate. Like nobody has to go to the hospital. Nobody has to
I
like get
mean,
checked out. Like, and his wife is just like, hey, but I don't know.
I mean, he had a tough night. I mean, at the beginning of the night, he was just thinking he was going to come out to the coast, have a few
A few
laughs.
laughs. No, it was
Okay,
funny,
I mean,
but
you're wrong. And
like,
also, it's a Christmas movie. I know you weren't arguing that it wasn't, but it is.
yeah, and we watch at Christmas time too. But just Bruce Willis bugs me in it. But I do love Alan Rickman, so he makes the movie for him.
Sure.
Kind of like with Top Gun. I don't like Tom Cruise at all, and so Anthony Edwards as Goose made the movie for me. And then when Goose died, I'm like, this movie sucks. Like, I just need the
Lord.
one actor.
Wow.
Anyway, so
but your point is you have a connection with that character.
exactly, and that
also,
is where
I don't like things
yeah.
I don't have a connection with. I just have a lot of
Yeah,
connections.
yeah, you do. Yeah,
with a lot of characters, right? Like The
Yeah.
Godfather. I love The Godfather because I'm an American, and
I've never seen The Godfather.
Okay, it's a whole.
I haven't. I have never seen The Godfather.
For the folks who are just listening and not watching, my face is.
Okay, you guys.
I'm rubbing my brow. And
if you are listening / watching, come on, admit it. Admit if you've seen or haven't seen The Godfather. I think there's people out there like me who haven't seen it because they knew from the beginning that it was going to be like gruesome and icky.
The thing is, it's not. It's really
horse heads. Come on.
Well, yeah,
there's like killing and mob and
I don't know. Mobs, but nothing like particularly if you're used to like slasher movies of the 80s.
It's slasher movies. I hate
my
that.
Point, is it's got like maybe 2 scenes of like, I mean, there's a lot of violence, but that's not really what the movie is about, right? Oh my god. Oh my god.
All right.
Yeah,
I know.
Gotham is a dog and he's seen it like 3 times.
I just never had the desire.
Oh my god, it's a whole different. Okay, but let's get back.
Okay.
So my question for you.
Yes.
And I asked a while ago. I don't think we ever got to it. You don't have 0 Disney collectibles. You don't have.
I have tons.
You have tons of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But like you say, as a collector, because I'm a solo guy who made good choices in his life, don't have children.
Yeah.
You have had children. You still have them, but they're no longer children, right?
Huh, you'd think.
Well, I've met them. Right? And my question for you is, from a different perspective, and you talked about it a little bit, but I would like for you to expand on it. Like, how do you approach, like, do you just have a little Disney in every room? Do you have one room that's, like, really Disneyed out? Like, how do you, and is this something you've just never thought about?
When we owned our home, okay, first of all, let me just preface this by saying Ed would be ecstatic if I kept all of the Disney to one room. Okay, like that would make him very happy. That has not happened yet.
I mean, we all know Ed's happiness is really not a concern of yours.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on. So the last home we owned, we had a downstairs like daylight basement. There was a lot of Disney down there. It was like kind of our exercise room, our guest room, kind of office. You did. So all my movie posters and kind of stuff like that. And a lot of my collectibles were down there. But yeah, they were spread all throughout the house. Like artwork is spread throughout the house. Different things. Flower pots. I'm trying to think, little music boxes spread throughout the house. We now are on our 4th year of leasing a home that we said we were going to be in for 1 year. And so when we first moved into this house, I kept a lot of stuff in boxes. I wasn't going to unbox everything and display it because we were only going to be here for 1 year.
Yeah.
And we're here for 4, and those things are still in boxes. So renting a home, I can see, unless we were going to rent this home forever, which I know we're not, then I would start putting stuff out. So I'm in a weird spot now where a lot of the stuff I love is still boxed up. And we've taken some of the stuff out, like even some of the pictures behind me, but the pictures behind me aren't like anything, super irreplaceable or expensive or anything like that, if that makes sense. Like my like really good stuff that I love is still in boxes because we haven't like really put anything out yet. I don't know. So
I guess my sort of follow-up question for you is, like, you talk about the stuff that you really love. Right?
Yeah.
Like, in an ideal world, money being no object, right? you've had the experience of having stuff all over the house and having a room you could dedicate it to. In an ideal world, as a small C Disney collector, because you do collect some Disney things, you just don't collect. You
All
don't
the
have
Disney.
that thing that I do where I'm like, oh, that's 1 out of 10. I got to get the number one, right? Um,
Yeah.
what manner of sort of decoration slash display, like what makes you, money being no object, how would you do it? Would you have one room? Would you have it throughout the
No,
house?
I would have it throughout the house.
Okay.
That's me but you have a lot of things that you enjoy.
Yeah.
That's my problem is that I find like minimal things and then I attach myself to those things.
Right.
So you have a lot of different stuff. I mean, you have a whole DC collection that doesn't go in with your Disney stuff. So then do
Right.
you like separate your Disney
Right.
and
Or
your
do they
DC?
intersperse, or yeah, right?
Right. Where mine, I mean, I don't really collect. I have things that I love and I'll have like paintings or pictures of those things,
Sure.
but nothing that would warrant a statue of something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, okay, but if I, because I've seen them. As a matter of fact, as we speak today, I decided not to go today, but MouseCon is happening in Concord today, and I've seen more than once some things at MouseCon that I know you would love. So if there was a wonderful statue of Maleficent or Aurora that was just like meticulously put together, and I got it for you. You didn't pay your own money. I got it, right? Right? Would you not add that to the collection? And would you not want to find a like sort of a really nice place for it? Or for example, just off the top of my head, let's say you were getting married and a friend of yours got you wine goblets from Disneyland,
Okay.
right? Would you not want that to have a prominent place of display?
They do. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like prominent in my mind is different than yours. So I have like we have a little cabinet, a glass, with glass doors that I have all my special things like that in. So I have like those like that goblet with our wedding, like knife and whatever, I don't know, cake servers. And there's like special things that I
Sure,
have, and that's in
sure.
there with them. I don't know that I need a whole trophy case just for like one item, which I know that you like kind of get for some of your statues, don't
Yeah,
you? Like,
yeah.
especially
And I
like,
think that the distinction is, right? Like, are you looking to attract the eye to those things, or are you just sort of saying these are the things that I love? And because, like, I'm thinking of the cabinet where you have that kind of stuff, and it's sort of off to the side, right? Like, I don't think anybody's going to stop and look at it
I don't
unless
think I
you're
have anything worth that.
really. That's interesting. That is
I don't think I
interesting.
have anything like that.
I got to get you something like that. I don't know.
I have
Yeah.
stuff that some people might think though that is like I have a Briar Rose Village that I
Sure.
love,
Yeah.
but I don't need anything front and center. I don't know. But I have a thing too where like if I buy a souvenir, I want it to be useful in some way.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
we've got
You're
some
very much one that's like you would rather get a shirt or a hoodie or a piece of clothing that you're going
or
to
a kitchen
wear.
item,
Right.
that I can use, or
Right.
even like we have some kitchen tiles from Disney's Grand Californian that are displayed in our kitchen up above the cabinets. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's a place. I have some kitchenware that they're displayed. I don't use them, but they're displayed in the kitchen.
So you want it to be a multitasker.
Yeah, I
You
do.
want it so the idea of having something that's the entire purpose is to just sit there and be looked at and
Yeah, it
admired
really
is not.
weirds me out.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Why? What's weird about that?
I don't
Is
know.
this? I
I
mean,
think
we've been friends for years, and it's such a part of like and it's part of it as being a comic book collector, right? It's like I like some of the stuff you like too, but like let's say I got like a Disney kitchen thing, I would be like, oh no, we're not using it. We're gonna preserve it. I need it to be in mint as long as
I
I
grew
possibly can.
my mom and dad kept everything.
Mm,
My mom and dad kept everything.
yeah.
When they moved to Oregon in the early 90s, my dad
Hmm.
had boxes of people's resumes from the 70s.
Wow. Wow.
My parents don't get rid of anything. And
Mm.
so, and they've moved so many times, and we've also moved those things for them so many times. I will tell you, my dad did get rid of the resumes. He's actually
So he's not
in
gonna
his,
hire that guy that's been dead for 30 years.
you never know when you might need somebody's phone number. This was pre-internet, by the way. This was the early 90s. Anyway, yeah, just my mom has sentimental value to a lot of things,
Yeah.
and I don't have
Yeah.
that.
And it's such an interesting dichotomy because when I grew up, it was very hard to hold on to anything that was mine. I was one of 6 kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
For many years, I didn't have a room. I slept on the couch in the living room, right? Because we had a 2-bedroom house with 6 kids, somebody sleeping on the couch, right? And so the only thing I was able to sort of hold on to were my comics,
Mhm.
right? And so for me, and I wonder if, we've talked about this a ton of times because, I feel like your dad and I have a lot of similarities in sort of how we were raised.
Totally. Totally.
For me, like the ability to actually hold on to something
Mhm.
is something I really appreciate because and even as an adult, I won't get into it, but like a lot of our family like photos and stuff have been destroyed or thrown away.
Yeah.
Like I don't have when you have the thing at work where everybody says bring in a baby picture. I don't really have any baby pictures because an awful thing happened and a lot of our family memories just got tossed in the garbage, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And so there's a part of me, this is maybe a little too psychological, but there's a part of me that's like, I'm going to hold, if it's good, I'm going to hold on to it because I don't know
Yeah,
if,
I think there's a lot to be
you
said for that. I do. I do think there's a lot to be said for that. I think that Annika, our youngest, she has we call her a hoarder,
Mhm.
right? But she knows every single piece of item that she has and where in the hoard it is. Um I'll never forget when I was digging through her nightstand. This was a long time ago. She was little, and there was like some random half finished friendship bracelet in
Mhm.
the back of her nightstand. And I was like throwing stuff out. I was like, no, she does not need a bottle cap. She does not need a rock. She does not, right? And she was like third grade. And it must have been 2 days later that she was like, Mom, have you seen that friendship bracelet that was here because I want to finish it? Right. And luckily the trash had not gone out. But I just the fact that she knew that that was
Mhm.
there and hadn't touched it in like forever, she's still like that. I could show
It's a
you right
weird
now,
thing. I
but
have I own literally 50 years worth of comic books. There's a lot of comic books. And I have a mental Rolodex if I'm like at a comic convention and flipping through boxes, I'm like, oh, I need that one. And I'll be right. I'll be like, I need Brave and Bold number 123.
yeah.
And my brain will be like, yeah, you don't have that one. And I just know it. It's an interesting place to be in relation to sort of your take on it, which is why do we have this crap? And I think that's a valid. Like, here's the thing: if I didn't have this crap, I could have probably been just fine with a much smaller place that I'm buying, right? But part of the idea of me getting a place is to finally have a place to call my own.
Yeah,
There's
I
another
agree with you.
there's another aspect to it that I think is relevant, and is relevant to our conversation as I am a 56-year-old single man, and I have had the experience of dating and having somebody come into my place and be like, "Oh, wow, really like Superman," and me being like, "Yeah, that's not really the impression. Like the first thing I want someone I'm dating to see when I bring them over. I'm not ashamed of it, right? It is who I am, right? Like I'm not going to pretend I'm not. But
I
it's
think there's
not
lots of
necessary.
women who would appreciate that though. I
Can you
do.
can you send them my direction?
You're the one that goes to Comic-Con all the time.
No,
You
no, no.
see them
No, but
much more than I
my
do.
point is, and I'm curious your take on it, is there's a distinction between I think someone who has an interest and that interest is unique and interesting and out of the ordinary and someone who's obsessed. And I am very much trying not to give the impression, even though let's be honest, I have a podcast on Disney, right? But to sort of everything in measure, right? Everything in moderation, and to I think that you can unintentionally, right? Give the impression that oh my god, I there's no way I can like this is an impenetrable thing, and there's no space for me, right? As a person who's trying to like date someone and be like, hey, let's maybe build our lives together, but it seems like you've got everything all laid out, and there's not really going to be a place for me to kind of like enter and have mine too. Now, my take on it is, that's my take on it. I'm curious your take on it. As you mentioned earlier, you and Ed have been married for quite a while, and would you say that it's an equal sort of division of your taste and his taste, or would you say your tastes have proven to be more central? And I'm not saying that that's not a judgment. It could be it's a thing he doesn't give a shit about, right? Doesn't care about, since we're a family podcast. Uh, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm curious from a relationship perspective, right? Because I control my space. I do whatever I want in my space. You share a space, not only with Ed but with the girls, right? How does one do this when it's not just their decision?
He will complain about it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's all talk. He has his own Disney things that he wanted and has.
Does he have any of his sports stuff, football stuff, Detroit
Just in
type
his
stuff?
office.
Yeah.
Just in his office. But he hasn't wanted, like, he's also not somebody who wants, like, just a lot of stuff, right? Like, we
Right.
always make a joke about, don't get me a Mickey Mouse t-shirt with Malibu on it and on the
Right.
Mickey on
Yeah.
the surfboard. We always say that. He's like that about his stuff too. He doesn't
Right.
want just crap, right?
Right.
Um, and so what he has is special to him,
Mm-hmm.
but it's in his office. Like, he's always got his office, so it's
Right.
always in his office.
Do you think he would, given a, because here's one of the things I'm thinking of. Somebody the other day referred and said, "Oh, are you going to create a man cave?" I am so against the phrase man cave, the idea man cave. It's just one of the most inherently misogynistic ideas I've ever come across. Right.
Well, that assumes that the rest of the house is the woman's.
Right. And that's
Which,
one of the things that I'm sort of trying to wrestle with, is there's a distinction between. So for me, I care very much about sort of what my house looks like.
yeah.
Right? Some people don't, men and women, right? I've met women who are like, I really could care less, right? But the idea that there's sort of this man cave, which is the only place where your stuff can be because she's taken over the whole house, is sort of really offensive to me.
I
So
don't think
I'm
we
just
have
really
that.
curious from somebody who shares space, like how that dynamic sort of plays out.
He has, so if you guys like, we have one of those open floor plan things on the downstairs with a kitchen, the living room, the dining room are really all just one room. And so you might think like, okay, so I will tell you, when we first moved in, Costco had this really cool like Art Deco rug that were Mickey Mouse heads. And so you only know they're Mickey Mouse heads if you really look at it, right? So Ed's okay with like that subtle stuff. But in the dining room, it's really Ed's dining room. We have a Millennium Falcon rug.
Nice.
Also subtle, right? Also
Right.
subtle, but our dining room table is a table that he bought specifically because you take the leaves off of the table and it's board game land underneath there. So you have a felt table so you can do a puzzle or have your board games, and you keep that there. And then when you're ready to eat, you put the leaves back on, and you don't know that game or that puzzle or whatever is underneath. That was his. So yeah, he's got his own kind of things that he wants or collects too. I would never pay that much for a dining room table or a board game table, and that was important to him. So
Yeah.
he gets his stuff too.
I mean, I wasn't saying he wasn't. I didn't.
No, I'm thinking, I'm like, it's not just all me. And yeah, he
Yeah.
will complain. He will complain to you. He will tell everybody, oh, Disney is a girl's thing. Disney is the girl's thing. But come on. We all know who bought the DVC membership because he was too uncomfortable off site, right?
Yeah.
We all know who went to Disneyland with his kid when I wasn't even there,
Mm-hmm.
right? We
I
all
mean,
know. Come on.
I think you know how I feel about Disney as a girls thing. I.
No, not a girl thing. Like me and the girls.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. That like he'll say, yeah, it's just for the girls. It's for Andy and the girls. But no, he's wrong. He's that's a lie.
Okay. I mean, wow. I think we touched a nerve there, audience. Be curious.
So
be curious Ed's take on this whole thing.
He would come on here and he say that I'm full of crap and get rid of the Disney stuff. We both of us, I will say both of us like subtlety. We like the subtle Disney references.
Yeah. I mean, I think I like that too, and that's part of what I'm trying to sort of achieve. And although I will think my level of subtlety is almost a challenge for someone to be like, wait a minute, that's what you mean, right? So I'm looking at wall art for my new place,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a bunch of things where it's just like, oh, I can just put a Disney poster there. I'm like, I don't know if I want that. And then I was looking at some poster art from the 1964 World's Fair, and I was like, oh, that might work. And my friend was like, why? I was like, well, Walt introduced all these things at the 1964 World's Fair. And that's sort of Disney, but it's not like in your face Disney.
Right,
So I don't think it's
exactly.
overwhelming, but I also don't think it's underwhelming. It's just whelm.
It's just whelming.
It's just whelming. I just want people to be whelmed, right? It's
Well, we
that
have
distinction. Like I don't necessarily like a lot of things with like hidden Mickeys. Even that's a little too on the nose for me sometimes. I like it to be a little more like,
subtle.
and for me, I don't know if it's just a challenge that I love. And it's one of the things I love when we go to Comic Con or D23 and you're wearing something. I don't want to wear just the thing that I want somebody to come to me and like, is that?
Well, even people always love your treasure
Yes, the Treasure
planet.
Planet like jersey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because so many people like. I really like that movie, and it's just one of those underrated movies. And
Yeah.
so many people like if you liked that movie, you're going to be like, hey, that guy's wearing a Treasure Planet jersey.
Yeah. That's what and I forgot too, because it's been boxed up since we've been in our rental home. Ed and I really like national parks. We traveled the country for a year. We tried to get to as many national parks as we could. And so we have those like old retro national park posters everywhere. But Ed was also able to find some retro type looking posters of like the Shire or
Right. Yeah.
Tatooine
Yeah.
or
I
that.
love
And
those.
so
Yeah.
those were mixed in with our national park posters so that if you didn't know anything or you just glanced at
Right.
our living room wall, you go, oh, they like national parks, but you'd have to like look closely to see
Right.
the references
It's the thing I
to,
have in my office. Behind my desk, I have a bunch of framed T-shirts from all the universities I've been either
huh?
worked at or a student at. But one of them is Comic Con did this college-like shirt. So just stuck in
Yeah.
there, it says it's like UC Santa Barbara, UC Berkeley, SDCC, UC Merced, and like one person in the last 3 years has been like, wait a minute,
I'm sorry, but that counts as a college for you. That is higher education for you.
oh
Let's
believe
be
me,
real. Let's
yeah,
be real. All right. So, um, I am curious then to see. So, what are your ideas so far for your new house? What ideas have you
okay.
come up with?
So I've got it's 3 bedroom plus a den. So my den is going to be my office, which is so funny because I'm like I need a separate office, but I got a brother and a dog, and I need my space. And so it's going to be mostly where I put my library with books because I have a ton of just books, but also in the cubbies I want to put like little collectibles and things up there. I think I'm going to put the World's Fair poster or canvas or whatever I end up doing down there, plus a couple of the display cases. My
Yeah.
my main idea though is in the 3rd bedroom is to do a gallery room where I have comics, not all the comics because they wouldn't fit, but some comics. I bought a spinner rack, which is when we were kids, if you went to 7-Eleven, it's where you put comics on. So I got one of those. Um, I want to put a couple of display cases in there, but I also want to put in like a drafting table, which is sort of like an animator's
Yeah.
desk,
Yeah.
because as you know, I have a lot of large art books that are like Disney books
Yeah.
that I never kind of can like really dig into because they're so big. You can't just like sit in a chair and read them. Like you have to put them on something. Like they're
Hmm.
big giant art books. And I was like, I would like to have some Disney stuff displayed in there, some comic stuff displayed in there, but mostly I want that desk so that like people, it's almost like it's a room where you go to study all of the things that I love. Comics, Disney, right? Like it's almost like if you were going to do academic study on Disney, you could start here
Yeah.
with some of my Disney stuff on those walls and some of the statues. And again, I've got enough Disney and DC comic stuff that I want to swap some of the stuff out. Like I don't want it all out there because I think that's overwhelming. I just want to swap in and out, plus a couple of gallery walls on the stairs as you
So,
know.
where do you put your stuff that is not being displayed then?
I think it's gonna go in the garage. I mean, I keep all my boxes, so you know, I'm not really worried about it getting messed up. But I mean, the alternative is, Andy, I just and we've talked about it. I've gone into places where it's like, here is literally everything this person has.
I know, I
I
know.
just don't like that look. It just doesn't feel
Which is why I
very,
don't have that
yeah,
stuff.
right. No, and here's the thing: I have the stuff. I just don't. I like the idea of every time you come to my house, you go in there and like, oh, this is different.
You got a lot of people coming to your house there, Al?
I mean, here's the thing: it's one of the reasons I'm buying a house. I used to be a much more social person than I am. I have a 2 bedroom house right now that is like, I hear it, not house, it's an apartment that about 2 years ago when I moved in, I was like, okay, I got to think vertical because I don't have a lot of space. The
Mm-hmm.
things are like stacked, and I don't have anybody over because it's just not, I wouldn't feel comfortable having a guest.
No, I get that. I get that. I feel like that about our rental. We have a really, really nice rental house, but it's not our house. So I
Right.
feel
And I mean, here's the
weird.
thing: I get to, in my new place, I get to paint the walls. I'm
Yay!
gonna paint my office a what they call a gentleman's gray. I was doing some research. It is a Sherwin-Williams color. It's actually blue, but they call it a gentleman's gray.
I'm so happy for you.
And here's the other thing I discovered: you can just buy blinds at Lowe's for like $25. I thought you had to like
Yeah.
have them custom made. I was like budgeting like $1,500 for them, and then my friend, I went to Home Depot, and the lady was like, "Well, why don't you just get those?" I'm
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah.
These
Do you
are the
think
things
those
nobody.
blinds in back of you were custom made?
I assumed. Here's the thing:
Mm,
I don't know. I've
I
never bought a
know.
house. I just knew it
I
didn't have
know.
blinds. How am I supposed to know this stuff?
I don't, you're not. You're going to find out all this stuff that we found out a long time ago. And that's why my husband wants to rent now more than buy.
Yeah, and I'm going the other direction.
And my husband's like, yep, year 4, here we come. You got
Hmm.
a problem? You call someone and they fix it. I cannot paint my walls. So, that's a
Yeah,
bummer.
I haven't been able to paint my walls for 56 years.
I know. I know. I know.
I
I'm
mean, the
happy for
first
you.
18 or so, I was at my parents' house, so I probably could have, but
There's a lot of people there, I heard.
yeah. And my mom probably would have had something to say about it. When I remember when I put a bikini girl poster on the wall, it stayed up for 3 seconds.
Yeah, I can't imagine your mom going for
She
that.
was not happy with me that day. Heather Thomas in a pink bikini was ripped in half
Oh,
30
Heather
seconds
Thomas.
after it was put on the wall.
All right. Well, our time is coming to an end. We see the attraction. Here we are. It's coming. This is good. I can't wait to see pictures of what it turns out like
Yeah.
once you actually figure out when you're closing on your home. So
Yeah, well, that's to be determined. I also want to see pictures of our listeners and viewers' home displays and things of that sort. I'm actually really curious, and this could be a good follow up. I want to see what people think about how they display, how people have successfully displayed their Disney collections.
let's do it. So here's the thing. So yeah, we've been really busy, as you know. So I did something dumb and thought I would go to graduate school, which sounded like a great idea, but
Hey, I
in
did that a couple
reality,
times. Yeah,
I know you did a couple times. And in reality, I didn't realize this time it would take. It takes a lot of time. So my social media is dropping off big time, but maybe you guys can help us out with that and share some pictures. I'll put a little post on our social media. We would love to see how you guys have
Andy,
your Disney
we have a
stuff displayed.
podcast. You're going to get a higher. Are you going to get a higher degree while we have a podcast? What kind of person does that? What kind of person goes to graduate school while we're in the midst of a podcast production schedule?
I'm just getting my
Oh,
master's,
that's
not my
true.
doctorate.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I just
Or
want to
though
remind them.
maybe
I just
maybe
want
I'll
to
take
remind our
the
listeners that I have a doctorate. That's just what I was.
we know. And I wonder if my husband would be okay with the all day study method of going on a cruise every time you need to really buckle down. I don't
Oh,
think
let me
Ed
tell you,
would
that was so
agree.
smart. It was the best thing I did. And it wasn't just every time I needed to buckle down. I was writing my dissertation, and I needed 5 days to just focus.
One of the times you've been on so many where I just got to
Yes,
get away. I just got to
sometimes I go on a cruise just because I want to go on a cruise, but you know, you can do that.
no, no, because just like I mentioned earlier, I have the children,
Yeah,
and
it's so funny.
one of them is
People with kids.
self-sufficient.
Oh God, I can't
One
do
of them
this.
is self-sufficient financially. The other one, we
I
still got
got
a little bit.
kids. Oh, nothing is important anybody else ever does because I have kids. I know you
Just
cure
saying, I'm
cancer.
broke.
I wish I would have time to cure cancer. I've got kids.
Which your excuse?
I'm not a scientist. What am I going to cure cancer? I'm a social scientist.
Apparently, science isn't a thing anymore. That's so
That's true.
last year.
And I had people who kind of were like kids. I mean, look how that worked out. Anyway,
Yeah, I know. That's
bygones,
not great.
bygones,
Bygones. Bygones.
bygones.
All right. Are you closing us out or what?
I am, and you're going to have to edit this while I find the, the
Editing it, they can
closing
know that you're not
scripts.
prepared.
I am prepared. I am always prepared as I find my list of closing scripts, not in Firefox, because that is not. It is in
Yep.
Safari, where I go to my Google Drive and say,
This is staying in. This is staying
and
in.
just open up. No thanks, Google. I do not want to buy extra.
Wow. We've been on the show for 51 minutes.
Because we just need to say, please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened. Wait for the podcast to come to a complete stop before disembarking. Permanece centavos, por favor.